Well, we're at 12:05, so I know we'll have some more filing in. I will get out the bell and gently gong us into session. Wow, that was a little louder than I intended. So welcome to the Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club for July 28th, 2020. Thank you all for joining us for this very special session with a special visitor today, bringing program and messages from the district, our district governor, Cindi O'Neill. And we have one announcement that I know we want to make mention of, otherwise we will forego all other mentions of announcements. But our head judge, we mentioned that we would have a Venmo account coming in. And so Steve Schneiderman, can you update the members here on where we stand with Venmo?
Yes, we have a Venmo account that is in the makings. We've set it up, just waiting for bank authorization. If any of you currently have Venmo, our identifier is CBNB space Rotary. And the judge and the judging team will be issuing fines, or we will accept your happy dollars or however through the Venmo account. We'll send out a P-mail when it's all live and how it works. And we'll be glad to help you part with your hard-earned money for the good of our club.
Thank you, Steve. And again, Ariane, who had the inspiration on that, and you two for working on that. And Steve, or if you get a chance, if you can type that into the chat box, so as people come in, they can take a look and find out and copy that down for their Venmo. If they don't have one, they can look for it as the week progresses, but that's going to allow them to put in happy dollars and fines when you get fined, but also for happy dollars. And if you get a happy dollar request in time, we'll add you into the bulletin either next week or one of the upcoming bulletins. We'll get you a mention if you get some happy dollars into us. We'll be sure to mention you guys as we go along. So thank you again for doing that, Steve, and thank you for the inspiration there, Ariane. And without further ado, AG Chris, were you going to do the introduction for us of our program, or would you like me to handle that?
I was planning to introduce Cindi, if that's all right.
All right, that would be more than all right. So Assistant Governor Chris Hainsworth, you have the Zoom floor.
Well, thank you, to, President Tim, and it's a pleasure to be attending your club meeting today along with Cindi. Our District Governor, Cindi O'Neill, 2020 through 2021, is a member of the Rotary Club of Bend. Cindi joined Rotary in 2002 after being invited to serve as a volunteer on several local and international projects. The service opportunities provided by Rotary broaden her perceptions of her community and the culturally diverse world we inhabit. Service provided a long desire to give back to others in need. Her continued passion for Rotary began with more international service, along with a growing understanding of the leveraging power of the Rotary Foundation. Cindi has participated in 5 international service projects, including the Zuni Indian Reservation building the wheelchair ramps, and 3 projects in Mexico. First, building a river bridge, second, Albrecht Rehabilitation Project, and the third is a group leader for the Diabetes and Vision Screening Project. And in 2017, the Neural Tube Defect Prevention Global Grant Project in Ethiopia. Cindi and her husband, Mike, are both Rotarians and have participated in the local community service projects, including parks construction, literacy, youth mentoring, group study exchange hosts, and youth exchange hosts. Cindi has served as club president in 2007 through 2008, and 10 years later again in 2017, 2018. She was project leader for the 2018 Great Drake Park Duck Race. She has also served District 5110 as assistant governor and the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund Chair. Cindi holds a master's degree in forest ecology and has had 20 years of experience in the field of natural resource sustainability at the landscape level. Her career span involvement in ecological conservation with the Nature Conservancy and the U.S. Forest Service. And in 1999, Cindi became a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley and then joined her husband, Mike, in 2006 to work directly in their family-owned business, building high-performance custom homes. She is the co-owner and visionary for their company of 25 years, Soul Air Home Builders, working to transform the custom home market into sustainable net zero energy homes. She and Mike have 3 grown children, 3 grandchildren, and living in Bend, she and Mike love the great outdoors and enjoy backpacking, hunting, fly fishing, gardening, hiking, and cross-country skiing. Above all, Cindi and Mike hold family, friends, and service to others near to their heart. May I present to you our District Governor, Cindi O'Neill, and let us all stand.
Chris, thank you so much for that generous introduction. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, the Coos Bay North Bend Club, with past District Governor Bill Greil and all these lovely faces and committed Rotarians. You have a very, very wonderful club. I was very interested to watch all the wonderful things that you did last year under immediate past President Eva Shima Takahara's leadership. So my hat's off to you. You know, I want to share some thoughts with you and then have an open discussion. And I'll get right into that. So you heard from Chris that I joined Rotary because I was invited to participate in service. And I must have done, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 projects, including one international one, before I asked someone to invite me to Rotary. But I joined because of service, and I stayed because of service. And as my membership in Rotary grew and my knowledge grew, I realized the real power of Rotary lies in so many other things too, which included the power of the Rotary Foundation and its leveraging power for all the great things we do around the world and in our communities. And the connections we make as friends, super powerful, because we all have all these skills, and our connections and our friendships allow us to do great things in our communities and around the world. But the reason that I decided to put my hat in the ring to be your district governor and stand virtually before you today is because it seems like in our communities, no one really knows about us. No one knows just how relevant Rotary is in our world and in our communities. And now, more than ever, I feel knowledge of our relevance in our communities is very important. And frankly, if we don't raise the relevance of Rotary, we may disappear. Rotary is relevant in my mind and in my heart because we are worldwide, because we are connected, because we are friends, and because we are very, very special people who hold 5 long-held core values near to our hearts, and those are leadership, diversity and inclusion, service, integrity, and friendship. So important. But who knows this? Who knows this outside our club and in our close circles of Rotary? Virtually no one. In these historic times of COVID and now unsettling social unrest, I believe it is Rotary that is perfectly suited in positive ways to impact our communities and help. This is, in fact, I like to say, our time. This is it. This is our time in your generation your generation of membership in Rotary, that we can make a big difference in our communities, and we can raise our relevance in the eyes of our communities. In this time, you have really a captive audience in your community, if you so choose to go out and get it. 10 months ago, I asked President Tim to interview at least 3 community leaders and ask them a simple question after an introduction, of course. What is our community's most pressing need? We're Rotary. This is what we do. How can we help? And I asked him to write a 2.5-minute speech for presentation in Seattle at Prepets. I want to brag a little bit about your president. His speech is one of the best that was presented at Prepets. Great job, Tim. And I don't mean to embarrass you, but I'm going to read parts of it. Sorry about that, Tim. My name is Tim Novotny from the Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club. We are located in the south coast of Oregon in a county of over 63,000 people. The cities in the club name are just 2 of several other small communities in our area with no shortages of issues that need to be addressed, from declining school enrollments to an aging population, to accessible health care and affordable housing options. But the central need that seems to tie all others together is the need for a unified economic vision to help restore family wage jobs in the region, maybe even a bold vision. To gain insight, Tim reached out to several local leaders, including the mayors of both Coos Bay and North Bend, a young businessman who also is on the Coos Bay City Council and is a member of the Surfrider Foundation. I also contacted the executive director of the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce and the president of the local Zonta Club. According to the 2018 Coos County Community Health Assessment, the average median incomes in Coos County are lower than the state. Poverty levels are also shown higher in the county compared to state and national percentages. Sadly, these numbers help to lead to a rise in the number of homeless students in our county. Homeless students. With 559 students in the 2016-17 school year qualifying as homeless. Carmen Matthews, the young city council member, summed it up best, and I quote, "Lack of housing option leaves some homeless, bringing depression and hardships for families. Lack of family wage jobs reduces the amount of new homes being built or restored. Inadequate housing for families presents health risks and often impacts the effectiveness of education as families struggle to meet basic needs. Rotary can help with the symptoms associated with this need, but as the chamber leaders suggested, maybe it can also provide the cure. Maybe the Rotary," he said, "could lead the way to creating the bold ideas that will shape our future." We're in a pandemic, and I know you know that. Well, first of all, let's give a big round of applause to Tim on that. I love this speech because it got at the core of some of the symptoms and the causes for the problem of homelessness. 67% of our presidents at PETS said that homelessness was a severe problem in their communities. We have a problem in District 5110. And the pandemic is not making it any better. And the disparity between the haves and the have-nots are getting greater. And this is why I'm asking all of you who have connections in your community to go out and ask this question again. What is our community's most pressing need? We are Rotary. How can we help? Bring this information back to your club. Make a plan. Keep it simple. Do it quickly. People are in need. Include other clubs in your area, the area that Christine covers, Myrtle Point, Coquille, North Bend, all the way down to Reedsport. Let's work together and increase the relevance and the impact of what we do on the coast. Relevance is the key to keeping your members. Relevance is the key to growing the Rotary brand outside your club and creating a Rotary legacy in your community. Rotary will remain relevant if you make it so. I'd like to reward 2 individuals in your club now who I think have made, in the last 6 months or so, Rotary very relevant in your community. And I'm calling them Rotary heroes. And the first person that I would like to honor is Carrie Mitchell with this Rotary Hero hat. Carrie, for your leadership, bringing together partners in your community to produce hand sanitizer in a big way, leveraging your dollars of $9,000 with partners and a rum manufacturer to create hand sanitizers for 6 fire stations and 4 police departments and 2 medical clinics and 14 other agencies. That's compassionate leadership. That's helping your community. That's keeping people safe during these times. Carrie, thank you so much. I'm going to be sending you this hat. Now you see it, now you don't. I'm going to be sending you this hat as a token of your leadership. Please wear it with pride the next time you go out in the community and share your service and your leadership. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to honor, as a Rotary hero, Steve Schneiderman for reaching out to 4-H during these times and making sure that they also got hand sanitizer so that they could have their youth livestock auction. This is so important to the kids who raise those animals all year long and then perhaps can't take them to an auction safely and make their money for the year. So thank you very much, Steve. I'll also be sending you, how can I do this? Here we go. See, I'm still learning how to do this too. Thank you, Steve, for your leadership.
District Governor Cindi, I thank you for that. But in all reality, our Rotarian Dr. Carl, on behalf of 4-H, reached out to myself and the committee to see if we could help them. So, you know, it's just part of what we as a club do. So I appreciate the recognition, but it is not for me.
Well, Carl, thank you for your great idea and your leadership. You'll be receiving a hero hat too.
There you go. Thank you, DG Cindi.
You're welcome. And I'll be also sending a bunch of People of Action hats to Tim to give to you folks the next time you socialize. There'll be several, Tim. But I just wanted to do a shout out for some key folks that helped with this particular COVID disaster relief project. Those would be, again, immediate past president Eva, Amy Bailey, Tom Bennett, Alan Ledesma, and Stephanie Kilmer. Thank you so much for your service to your community.
Thank you very much. I'll make sure I get the hats to them and all who stepped up. As Steve said, that's what our club does, and I'm very proud of all the members of our club who have stepped up, and I'll make sure that they get one as soon as we can, or as soon as I hunt them down, one of the others. So thank you very much, District Governor.
Oh, you're so very welcome. So let's have an open discussion. I could start with the board or whoever is a committee chair for some of these topics. Let's start with service. what are your plans now for this year? How are you connecting the passions of your members with the needs of your community? Anybody want to share what you have planned for this year?
Well, right now, I'll kind of start things off. Just the board is in the midst of just trying to rein in what exactly we're going to be able to do with a lot of the. We have a great number of projects with our club, and several of them are a little bit further out. Some of them are coming up. Some of them have already had to have been canceled for this year. Others are going to be changed in some manner or other, or maybe changed in some manner or other. So right now we are in a kind of information gathering period of time where we're doing some brainstorming, some sitting down amongst our committees and trying to figure out how best to go about getting the money raised that will help to answer the needs of the people of the community. And we're hearing some good things. That's been one of the things that I've been most excited about, is seeing the creativity from our membership and finding ways around some of these issues. For instance, we have a big fundraiser in December called the Festival of Trees, which is a huge fundraiser that's usually a live auction in the Mill Casino. And I think one of our members, Amy, are you still with us? If Amy is here, I'm gonna
yes,
go back.
I am.
Okay, thank you, Amy. If you could maybe address a little bit about what you have been brainstorming on that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Heidi Prowitt, co-chair, and I are going to meet tomorrow to try to look at some ideas of a potential online auction, so a virtual auction. In the past, the sponsors have sponsored the tree and decorated them at the casino. So rather, we would deliver the tree to their place of business or their home. We give them a certain time frame to have their tree decorated, and it's their responsibility to then provide some good pictures, maybe a short video, and then we figure out an online platform to host this auction, whether it be on one day or it be a couple days long, to try to bring a little bit of the holiday spirit. It's one of those events that it just embodies the holidays, and it also is our second largest fundraiser that helps us to do really great work in the community. So to try not to lose those two great feelings in such a weird time, that's our hope. So we're fingers crossed that we can pull something off.
Thank you, Amy. And Heidi is here as well. Or she has been. Heidi, if you're still here, can you talk? I just saw your note. If you can talk a little bit about the 4-H kids auction. You mentioned that that actually came off well.
Yeah, so the 4-H and FFA kids in Coos County, the auction committee, which Dr. Carl is a part of that as well, worked really tirelessly and long hours, and was able to actually put together an online auction as well as a live auction. They did all the social distancing requirements and did have a live auctioneer at the fairgrounds on Saturday with a few attendees, but then they also had online bidding as well. And I would have to say, for the most part, the prices were as well as the prices always are. Coos County is very fortunate in the fact that we have one of the best animal auctions for 4-H kids in the state. And it's a great way for kids to make money for college, or some kids put that money back into reinvesting and start their own herd, whether it be cattle or sheep or whatever they're going to do. So yeah, it was a great experience, and it opened some doors for us. I think next year they're gonna have the online opportunity to bid, but hopefully next year we'll be back to normal fare and normal everything. We can all hope for that. Carl, do you have anything to add?
No, it was good to see everybody at the auction. We did about a little over $500,000 to the kids,
Wow.
and that was down about 10% from last year. we were probably down 10% kids, and of course Heidi was there volunteering all day and working hard too, and getting it all done. The other thing that was there was the District 5110 sponsored a hand washing station, which we actually finally got our hands on, and we got it there, and so that was another good thing. But yeah, we've been talking about having the Christmas trees online this year, and maybe a virtual auction. None of the kids were at the auction. That's the other thing. It was they weren't involved. We took videos of all the animals, and it was just consenting adults that were there, and it went really well.
Wow, that's great. I'm going to be visiting the Klamath County 4-H auction on August 2nd, this weekend, and they say they're going to be socially distanced, and the kids will be there apparently, but all the bidders will be online, so it'll be interesting to watch. The Rotarians in that club run the whole thing. Traditionally, they serve the food, they set up the tents, they bring in the auctioneer, they organize all the kids. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. Thank you for what you did. $500,000 is amazing.
That's fantastic.
What about membership? How's that going this year?
Well, on to the next topic. What else do you want to talk about? Membership. Membership has been a little bit of a struggle, although I'm very proud to say that we have high hopes for the course of the year. We have a very strong group of members who have re-upped, and we have a very strong group that are eager to get back to us. And with that as a setup, I'm going to turn over to our membership chairs, Tom and Dr. Patty Scott, unless she left. I know we lost one of our people here. But Tom, why don't you kick it off? And if Patty's here, she can chime in. Tom, you got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Thank you for being with us, District Governor. We've got some issues but aspirations in the membership area. We've lost a lot of members. We're paying RI for 90. We have not yet actually acquired 90 paid members, but we're getting close. I think we're up to about 89, and that includes a few that we have added back in, reinstated as it were. The reasons are several, but the one that resonates the most with me is the lack of the Tuesday camaraderie, fellowship, collegiality, like you're saying, the relevance that's created by the Tuesday meeting has seemed to have discouraged a fair number of members from paying their dues for another year. Now, having said that, almost all of the people that have dropped, unless they've moved away, are intending to rejoin Rotary at some point.
So, and as Tom said, I don't know, is Patty still with us? I think Patty might have been the one that had to move on.
Hey, Tim,
go ahead.
Does the District Governor happen to know that we picked up one new member and he's on? And that would be Mark James, who actually came to us, Cindy, to say, hey, I've heard a lot of good things about Rotary and I'd like to be a member. And we brought him in on Eva's watch, and yeah, pretty cool deal to add one. And we've got a couple more in our crosshairs.
Yes, and
well, even during this pandemic and the fact that clubs are meeting virtually, some clubs are bringing in members. Well, lots of clubs are bringing in new members, despite the lack of the ability to meet in person. In fact, it's viewed as a benefit to some of the new members because ordinarily they wouldn't have time to drive to the meeting, have lunch or whatever, and then drive back. Ordinarily it's an hour and a half to 2 hours. When I went back and forth to my Rotary meetings, And a lot of younger members and other very busy professional people are stepping up and joining because they can.
And
So
I
it
think
could also be viewed as a benefit, these meetings.
I agree, and I do want to just jump in real quick because Dr. Patty Scott, I believe, just rejoined us. Patty, if you're back on and unmuted, can you weigh in a little bit on the membership? Tom mentioned that he's covered the ground that we're down, paid for 90, and we're almost back to 90, and that those that aren't in have almost all pretty much indicated that they will come back at some point. But if you want to address a little bit of as the membership chair.
Yeah, we tried some new strategies. We've been trying new strategies every year to try to get more people to join quicker. Our strategy this year didn't work so well because our in-person meetings ceased, but the committee did a really good job in the last month or so trying to track down people and get them to join. We did lose a number of members because Zoom just isn't what they want to do, but I think we're going to reach our goal where we budgeted, and then I think we will pull in a few more of the folks that have been members for a long time. And then we have a strategy on how to bring new members in. In fact, I noticed that Mark James, our newest member, was on the call today, and we actually did an induction and brought in a new member via Zoom. So it can work. You have to be creative. We, at the next membership meeting, are going to be talking about how to engage people who have joined Rotary to do projects that we will be doing differently. So it's an opportunity for us, certainly some challenges, but nothing that good Rotarians can't overcome.
Yeah. And I want to say too, District Governor, that Patty and Tom and the rest of the membership committee, but I want to give big kudos to Patty and Tom. I don't know if any committee has been working harder during the pandemic just to maintain and retain members. Tom was doing a lot of legwork, getting out to members and trying to put his old salesman hat on and really walk them back in and let them know we cared, and really want to give a shout out for all his work, and Patty organizing a fairly one of our largest committee groups. Has been running extra meetings through Zoom to make sure we're on top of it, doing updates on a regular basis to make sure that we have the members we do have and that we're chasing down the members that we can get as best we can. Past District Governor Bill Griles been doing some yeoman work for us, working the phones, and so that's been one of our biggest challenges, without a doubt. I'm sure it's been for every club, but membership, without a doubt, has been one of our biggest challenges dealing with the symptoms of this, pandemic. And I think, though, on the one hand, as everybody said, we're learning some things that I think once we come out the other end is only going to make us stronger and more enticing to everybody.
I think you're right. Calling your membership and personally having a conversation and asking them the question, how you doing? You need anything? Really shows great caring. I almost left Rotary a long time ago. I don't know. I think it was 2008, during close to the bottom of the housing recession, when, builders like us, we were like wondering if we were just going to have to throw in the towel. And Rotary was just like not on my mind. I couldn't go to meetings. I couldn't, just didn't go to meetings. And one day they called me and said, we really miss you and we'd love to have you stay. And we're going to waive all your meal charges because you haven't been coming. And, well, that was just great. And I stayed. And I'm still here because of that phone call. because I was real close to just leaving. So calling your members and making sure that they know that you care about them, and some members may need help. That's absolutely great. Say one more thing about membership. Don't forget that we're offering at the district again the express grants at $500 per club. And one of the categories for the grants is new member engagement through service. So for your new members, you get a grant, you hand these new members $500 and say, please go out in the community, find a service project that appeals to you and matches your passions for service. And you run the service project, you get it done, and here's $500. So I encourage you to use that express grant for that purpose.
How many express grants do we get?
One.
Oh, I've already put it in. It wasn't for that. but
Well, you know,
it was for branding, so that could be drawing in members that way.
Yeah. All right. So what sort of, have you come up with any fun things to do on Zoom to make membership memorable for your membership in general? What's that?
A picture for our Facebook.
Oh.
Our PR person sending me notes saying, get a screenshot. I could have done it actually in a screenshot. Maybe I don't know. I could do a screenshot there. I also did a screenshot. So there we go.
All right.
But yeah, we're doing double duty there. So there we go. I'm sorry to distract you. Go ahead. That's
all right. Well, I'll just throw out some ideas that I've heard. It might get you talking about what you are doing, because I'm sure you're doing some things. Michelle Cordoretti of the Medford Club, she's immediate past president now. She put together a wine tasting for her membership, and it was virtual. And she hired, I think it was free, it was gratis, a wine master from a winery, and the wine master shared what 3 wines she was going to go over with everybody. So everybody had time to go out and buy the wines and the pairings with certain foods like cheeses or fruits or whatever. And then they did a virtual wine tasting together on a Zoom meeting. And she said it was a blast. They did it in the evening, and everybody had a good time and learned about wines. So there's an idea.
That would be great.
Because we still have to have fun. If it's not fun, it's gets to be a drag.
I like that idea.
Tom likes that idea.
Tom, you don't get to do all the tasting though. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Then you might have seen I believe it was the Lincoln City Club did a Rotary Cash Mob. And what they did was they chose a restaurant that they all wanted to make sure made it through this pandemic. And they all ordered takeout on the same day. There were 16 of them. And the restaurant owner said that on that day, that week, that made all the difference in his cash flow. So just some things you can do that are simple and fun and bring people together and make people feel good about being a member of this club.
I love that idea. Yeah,
I love it too.
Look into that. That'd be something we could mention at the meeting. You have to show up at the meeting to find out the secret place, and then run to it.
The secret place.
So, that'd be some. We've got some great creative thinkers there, so this should get the ball rolling on some good ideas.
I'm sure you would do. So what about branding? I noticed that you got your hand sanitizer project in the news. You doing anything else branding wise outside your club?
Well, that is one of the things that we put in for our express grant, so we'll wait and see if we get it. But we've revitalized our public relations committee. It's grown. We've put a few extra people inside of it. Social media is going to be built up a little bit more. We're trying to stay on top of Facebook a little bit more, and so that's going to be a big part of it. But we also want to increase on our website. Our website's a little outdated, so we've put in part of the money from the Express grant would go for an upgrade to the website that we could draw more traffic to, do a few more things on. And then if we've got some leftover, we'd like to see about maybe matching a little bit with the grant money to do some digital advertising where we can put some Rotary messages into the demographic of the people that would make ideal Rotarians. You can get really specific. That would be something that the committee will have to address should we get the funding. But you can get really specific for those that haven't dealt with digital advertising. You can get down to really finite types of people and their buying habits or their income habits, whatever you want to look for that kind of message delivery, and based on where they go, based on what sites they visit, and start dropping Rotary ads into their surreptitiously into their social media or their online looking around. Rotary messages will start popping up with, hey, did you know Rotary in Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club does this? Did you know Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club has members that have done this? And I believe that's going to go a long way to plant that seed and remind people, so that when our membership group starts coming around saying, hey, we'd like you to consider, the idea may already be planted a few hundred times. Oh yeah, you're the guys that have done this. And then we're going to also try to start reaching out. We do a much better job. We've sent out press releases when we did the hand sanitizer project. It's not first nature for Rotary, as you know, to brag on yourself. And we're trying to change that mindset a little bit, that it's not necessarily bragging, it's just trying to remind people of what we're doing. And so we sent out press releases. In that case, we sent them out all over the state. But we're going to be very forward thinking in terms of getting messages out, striking up conversations with broadcast and print journalists, and trying to work Rotary into stories and story angles wherever we can.
That's awesome.
Where Stephanie Kilmer is our PR chair. She's on here somewhere. Steph, are you able to talk?
I am. Hello.
There you go. Take it over.
Well, you pretty much summed it up in kind of a nutshell. We had talked about updates to the website. We've been talking about that for a while. It's nice to see this kind of digging in and doing some things. The reach is so much better with the technology that we have nowadays. And one of the messages that I sent to Tim is a reminder to all Rotarians who are on this in the club to remember to capture the things that Rotary is doing in our community, and fortunately our club has been very good about it. Eva was amazing at making sure she got pictures of everything, because a picture really can help us tell the story. And the hand sanitizer project was a classic example of how the team working together really brought that into the forefront of the community, and brought Rotary and the relevance of Rotary in our community, which has really been something that this club has worked on for years. This is the next step in where we go.
It is the next step. You're so right, Stephanie. There's so much opportunity, and we're learning a lot so fast. What were you going to say, Tim?
Oh, I was just going to say, Stephanie, maybe you can address for those that don't know or might not understand the importance on the website. For those that don't know search engine optimization and why that plays an important part, and I can kind of kick in if you'd like, but that updating that website helps us helps people find us in Google searches if you have a better website.
the bots out there that Google and the search engines have are looking for things that are relevant. And by that, I mean things that are changing. So having a dynamic website that has activity, you know, so putting our newsletters up or creating other opportunities to change information constantly on that website is important, because there, you know, a lot of that technology is automated, and if you aren't relevant, then you drop in the search engine. So if somebody's seeking out hand sanitizer and we do a big splash on that, and we're updating that, you have a better job of getting to the top of the page when people look for Rotary hand sanitizer, just as an example. So it's very critical in this day and age. The technology is there. The technology has been there, and it's how people search things out is also growing in importance. And so that's why this is important.
Yeah, and you can put things, you can stack keywords in there so that if somebody goes to look for hand sanitizer, they go to look for 4-H, because we've got that on our site. They'll get the 4-H, but they're also going to get, hey, Coos Bay North Bend, why is Coos Bay North Bend Rotary Club also popping up in the top 10 things? And they'll be able to find that out. So that's important. That's why the web's all why we're focusing a little bit on getting that website updated.
Well,
That's really terrific.
And being connected to our social media and things like that. There's a team that works to constantly make sure that the page is monitored and that everything is updated on the backside. They don't let me near it, and probably wise in that sense. But you know, a lot of times organizations create these websites and then they just sit there. Ours is pretty stagnant, but we do try to make sure that there's stuff updated. And Tim and I just talked about updating some pretty easy stuff. He's going to be getting an email from me here pretty quick.
So I wanted to ask a quick question. So let's say I came to your website, I moved to Coos Bay and I wanted to try on your club. Is there a way for me to go into your website and ask you whether or not I could become a member?
Yes, there's an information email that's associated with the website. We haven't done anything with it. And again, this is part of what we're talking about for the updates. We are consistently getting messages on the backside of our social media, and I get notifications for those. I respond to them. If it's beyond what I'm working on or familiar with, then it goes to someone who can. For example, we created bus stops for bus routes in our community years ago, and got a message on the backside from somebody that said, hey, you know, nobody's using this, do you guys want it? And so that was sent to somebody that was working on that project to determine what they wanted to do and how to contact. So we do monitor what's happening on that backside, and our response rate is quick, because that's the other thing.
Good. That's key. Yeah. So I did an experiment a couple of weeks ago with search engine optimization. I put in the keywords volunteer service opportunities. And I did it in 4 major hubs, you know, of our district: Eugene, Bend, Medford, maybe Klamath Falls. I didn't do it in Coos Bay, but Rotary never came up except in Eugene. And the only club that came up of 10, there are 10 clubs in the Eugene area, was Eugene Southtown. And it was because Eugene Southtown put their service opportunity in another nonprofit's website called Volunteer Service Opportunities. There it was, that phrase. And there was a nice little couple of sentences that says, you know, we pack boxes every 2 weeks to feed the hungry during the pandemic. Please join us. We'd love to have you join us and help Rotary serve others in need in our community, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that Kiwanis is coming up, Lions is coming up, other NGOs that are service organizations are coming up, and we're not there. So knowing that in the last, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, when I watched new members contact our club online, and then I asked, I was part of the membership committee, I'd call them and say, why do you want to join Rotary? It was always, I want to give back. I want an opportunity to serve my community. So there's a phrase for you that you should put all over your website: volunteer service opportunities. And here's how to join. Contact us and someone will invite you to our meeting. Just make it simple. I guess you know all this, but I just want to share that when I did that search 2 weeks ago, I couldn't find any volunteer service opportunities except in Eugene in one club.
Well, DG Cindi, I did want to let you know we're at 12:56 on the dial, so I didn't know if you want to.
All right. It's been a pleasure to be with you all. I yield the podium back to you, Tim.
All right. Thank you so much. Anybody have any quick questions? We got a couple minutes for questions for the district governor. Does anybody have any that you can throw in the chat or raise your hand? I did want to ask you, Cindi, we had talked briefly about the possibility of the fundraiser coming up. Is there anything you can share further about that in September?
Yes, absolutely. We have just signed up with a platform out of New York called Charity Footprints. They are going to be running a virtual fundraiser for all clubs in the district. If you would like to join us, there'll be 66 club teams, and the entire membership can participate. It's a platform that would allow Charity Footprints to track your steps. And the more steps you make, the more steps you take, and the more miles you walk or vacuum or golf or bike or swim will be tracked by Charity Footprints. You sign up to participate and create a profile for yourself, and then you share your profile outside of Rotary. You fundraise outside of Rotary, not inside your membership, and you ask for someone to sponsor, several someones to sponsor you. Let's just say 25 cents a mile or 50 cents a mile or 10 cents a mile. And as that gets tracked, all that money will automatically be sent to a district account. You will have 4 different choices for where to send your money: the Rotary Foundation Annual Fund, Polio Plus, or your club. So you can fundraise for your club. Or the 4th choice is, please divide my winnings between all 3 charities: the Annual Fund, Polio Plus, and my club. The money will be collected at the district and then sent either to RI for polio and the Annual Fund, or to your club. There will be prizes. It will be competitive. I plan to walk, I promise I'm going to walk 100 miles. I might bike some of those. But I'm looking forward to this. You'll be able to start signing up, I think, by about August 15th. And the race will start on September 1 and go for 8 weeks. And I'm hoping everyone will participate. Everyone who has a Fitbit or a Garmin or an Apple Watch or just an iPhone, a mobile device, can be tracked. More details to come.
Thank you so much, Cindi. Let's all give a round of applause. If you feel like standing, stand for District Governor Cindi O'Neill. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And Assistant Governor Chris Hainsworth, thank you for joining us as well. Thank everybody for taking your time out of your Tuesday to join us for this meeting this week of Rotary. Spread the word. We hope you will join us again next week. Not sure who we have. We have a new programming chair that is hard at work, burning the midnight oil, I'm sure, coming up with a great program. So at least he says he is. So but he has an extra M in his name, so who knows? We'll find out. Thank you again very much, and I will hit the bell and we will recess until next week. Have a great, safe week, everybody. There we go. That's a much.
Thank you, President Tim. Go ahead and be bold. Have fun out there. Talk to you all later. Bye-bye.